end of August, first part of September, all the way through October, depending on the season. You find these big old oak trees, like this one, which is some variety of red oak. It could be black oak, I don't know. But it has pointy leaf tips, so it's in the red oak family. But if you look closely, you can find hen of the woods and mosquitoes. Grifola frondosa. This is an excellent mushroom to eat with no known lookalikes that are poisonous. This one is about as big as my fist, but it's nice and fresh. Perfect size for harvesting if you want to slice it up and fry it whole. This particular oak tree has produced hen of the woods mushrooms for at least 3 years in a row now. I've found them on this tree for 3 years straight. I'm gonna leave that one because it is a little small. Alright, well, I went around this whole little section of woods here and checked a bunch of large oaks, and came full circle, and here is a oak that is dead. It's been broke off about halfway up by a storm or something. Not a real big oak, maybe 1.5 feet in diameter, maybe 2 feet. But sure enough, we got a really nice hen of the woods. I should apologize too for my videos. The past 3 or 4 videos I uploaded with the fire bow and the fat wood and pine knots. Once they uploaded, they seemed kind of choppy, and I'm not sure what's causing that, because the videos play fine before I upload them, so somehow they're getting chopped up in the upload process. And I have a good internet connection, so I'm not sure why that's happening. Hopefully I can get it figured out. I haven't changed anything on my end, so I'm thinking maybe it's something to do with YouTube. Helps if you have a nice long knife. I don't, but if you do find a nice size one, it can help for removal. There we go. One thing I would suggest you don't do is just rip these up out of the ground or off of the tree. You could damage the roots, the mycelium of the mushroom if you do that. I don't know if it's as big a deal with hen of the woods, but I just have a habit of leaving the base of the mushroom. But you can see This is just about as good as it gets. Nice white pores underneath. Hen of the Woods doesn't have gills like a store-bought mushroom. It has white pores. As this mushroom ages, those pores will change from white to sort of a tan, kind of to an orangish color. Orange. Orange isn't probably the best word, but it ends up being not white. And what you want is white. Just like that. It's all white throughout. The fronds are still pliable. They're not all stringy or anything. They have sort of a rubbery feel to them. They're not crumbly. That's perfect right there. Perfect Hen of the Woods mushroom. And I left a good piece on there. And that may continue to grow. So I'll probably just leave that. I mean, you can see I left a nice chunk right there. I may trim that off, I don't know. But that mushroom probably weighs 3 or 4 pounds as it is. Maybe a little bit more. That's a good average size hen right there. You can't get much better than that. It's actually best to pick them when they're young and the pores are still white than to try and let them get real big, because they will get real big. But that's it. I was hoping I'd find one today. Doesn't take much either. All you need is a bag of some sort and a knife to cut them, and the ability to identify an oak tree. I guess you could just walk out and look at the base of any tree, but it helps if you know what a oak leaf looks like. It usually looks something like that. The red oaks have pointy leaf tips, like this one, and the white oaks have rounded leaf tips. Not sure if there is any white oaks right here. Here's one, yeah. And the white oaks have rounded leaf tips. Alright, well, I checked about, I don't know, maybe 50 oaks throughout this area here. Maybe more, maybe less, I don't really know. I took a walk for probably 15-20 minutes. I found one hen right off the bat growing beside the trail, and then I cut back in and did a big loop, and when I got back on the other side of the trail, I found another really nice hen that I showed you earlier. And I figured I'd show you, try and give you a couple more tips on harvesting these. I already told you that you want the nice white tight pores and the nice white solid flesh, because that's going to give you the best flavor. And another thing that can help you, if I can manage to do this one-handed, is I told you to go ahead and cut the mushroom off at the base rather than rip it out of the ground, and that serves two purposes. It protects the mushroom from damage. Well, that's controversial, but it protects the mushroom from damage, and it also protects the mushroom from getting covered with dirt. If you just rip it out of the ground and put it in your bag, that dirt is going to get all over this mushroom, and you can see that this mushroom is layered, and if that dirt gets down in there, you're going to make your job of cleaning it later much more difficult. So if you cut it off at the base, and what I'll do is I'll cut it off and I'll flip it upside down, and then I'll just go around the perimeter, and any areas that are covered with dirt or have received a lot of splashback from the rain with leaves and stuff covering it, I'll just cut those off, and I'll just take those little pieces and toss them around some of the younger oaks in the area, and you know, maybe that'll help the mushroom spread, or maybe it won't. And then just kind of look it over. A lot of times there will be slugs in there. I see there's still a couple in this one, and you can flick those off with your knife. And then when you get back to your vehicle, it helps, in my opinion, if you put it inside a brown paper grocery bag that hasn't been used for anything else, and that'll help the mushroom dry off just a little bit, because sometimes they can be really damp. And then when you get home, it'll make it that much easier to clean it, because the surface moisture will have been absorbed by the paper bag. And then you can just take like a toothbrush or something. I have a toothbrush that is dedicated to cleaning mushrooms, and you can just brush off the dirt, and then just chop it up and throw it in your dehydrator, or saute it and freeze it. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and check a few more spots.